Alright, so this is going to be a reading for Sagittarius. And for the Sagittarius that I'm speaking to today, I'm seeing that you're moving through a lot of heavy feelings. You could be reflecting on the past and feeling disappointed or upset with maybe some things that happened. And as you look towards the past, other feelings come up for you, you're processing things, and you could feel a bit of fogginess as you move through that energy. And there's something here about your connections and learning things through those connections, and particularly moving through certain endings for the better and coming out of those endings with a heightened awareness and an understanding of yourself, of the people involved that you maybe didn't have before. Now I'm going to dive deeper into these energies in a second, but before I do, I just want to say thank you so much for being here and for receiving this reading. If you would like a personal reading, I do offer them. You can email me down below in the description box for a personal reading if you'd like. And if this reading resonates with you, please take a second to like and subscribe so that I can connect with you more in the future. Now, Sagittarius, your overall energy for the reading is the Fool, which is all about new beginnings and kind of stepping into the unknown. It's also about releasing burdens, releasing baggage, releasing the past. And there's something here about, I'm hearing, the best is yet to come. So especially as it connects to your relationships and your connections, Spirit wants you to know that there are better things coming for you and better connections coming for you, ones that you can trust, ones that make you feel solid, make you feel supported. There's a lot of stability coming towards you, but it kind of requires you to step out into the unknown and kind of depart from the past, because in the past I'm seeing there was some disappointment. There were some things that let you down, that maybe kind of weathered your soul, and you could be feeling kind of wiped out emotionally, spiritually from this. And Spirit wants you to be really realistic with yourself and take a look at those connections for what they were in the past and glean what you can from them, so that as you move forward on your path, you move forward with a good head on your shoulders and you move forward maybe wiser than before. Now, your oracle cards today are Inner Voice, Rebirth, and Innocence. So there's something here about needing to listen to your inner voice above all else. And so if you're feeling kind of lonely, or you're wondering why those connections in the past didn't work out, it could be because you're actually meant to connect more to yourself and more to your intuition and your own inner voice than to other people. You may not be someone who is meant to be in connection with just anyone. You need to be in connection with people who really add to your sense of who you are. And if you're feeling kind of separate from other people at this time, it's because there needs to be room for your inner voice to come through. I've been reading some books by spiritual healers lately, and one of them talks about how growing up, her spirit guides never really let her have close friends, and how that was kind of hard for her at times. But reading her book, it becomes kind of clear that she maybe didn't have close friends because she was walking a really unique path. And she needed the space to be her full self without necessarily giving her energy in a bunch of different directions. And that's not to say that spiritual people shouldn't have friends or that you're not meant to have friends. It just means that at this juncture, your inner voice is trying to speak to you, and there's something that you need to learn by going within. And so if you felt like maybe your relationships haven't worked out as well as you would like at this point, it could be because Spirit's kind of drawing you inward. Now we also have Rebirth and Innocence. And Rebirth and Innocence as oracle cards together kind of speak to that Fool card energy. The Fool card is the card of innocence, the card of inner child exploration, curiosity, starting fresh. It's the number 0 in the sequence of the tarot. And so it's that card of being young, being youthful, starting anew. And so you're having this rebirth and you're stepping out into the unknown. And Spirit's really asking you to free yourself of what happened in the past, especially if you are kind of bogged down by thoughts that you're having about past relationships. There's something here about understanding that not everyone can come with you into the next phase of your life, and that's okay. And if you're feeling upset about that, there could be something about needing a perspective shift and understanding that that actually creates room for something else to come in. So let's take a look at the recent past here. I want to take a look at that disappointment that you have with the Five of Cups. There was someone here that meant a lot to you with the Six of Cups and the King of Cups. Someone you have a lot of love for. They sort of represent love to you. And this was a soul connection, a soul bond. Someone who really spoke to your heart. They could still be in your life, but I'm just seeing it as you reflecting on it. And there could be this feeling of like trying to understand what happened here, or missing them, kind of wanting to reconnect with them with that Page of Swords. And in the corner of your mind, kind of going back to this person, even as your life sort of moves forward, there's something there that you're still kind of processing. As you look ahead to the future, it's almost like there are times when you're not seeing things clearly because you're stuck in the past. And Spirit's kind of saying there could be like a challenge there for you to kind of get a grip, is what I'm hearing. And not in a rude way, just get a grip in the sense of get a handle on these thoughts that you might get carried away with, of worrying about the past, of wondering how this person's doing. There could be times where you're so caught up in past love experiences that you can't even really imagine your future moving forward because you're kind of living in the past. And I see you sort of wrestling with that. Some of you could be aware that you have that tendency, and so you kind of reach deep within to calm yourself, to soothe yourself. For many of you, I'm also seeing you could have angels or spirit guides, guardians around you who are kind of comforting you through this process. Imagine them giving you a big hug and kind of wrapping their arms around you when you're in the depths of that. And the reason that you're getting this kind of higher level support is because you could get a little bit lost when you start to look ahead, because you're not seeing things clearly because you're focused on the past. And for some of you, this could be more than one connection as well. It may not just be one person. It could be friends, multiple partnerships that you've had, and you could kind of stay stuck in that place at times, and it's sort of a battle for you to unstick yourself from that. There could be a part of you that struggles with feeling like you could have done more, or it should have happened a different way. It's almost like you struggle to accept what did happen. It's almost like it's hard to believe that things happened a certain way, or that someone treated you a certain way. You could have been really invested in this situation. You could have felt like they were your everything. And so then there's this question of, well, if that didn't work out, then sort of what do I have left, or what am I meant to do? And it's almost hard for you to see the truth in the situation. But part of understanding that truth is also recognizing that, for better or for worse, the situation is done, And you could have spent a long time also trying to understand it, trying to work through it, and kind of realize, it just needs to end. You did everything you could do, and that's it. It's done. So pretty heavy energy in the past, but on the bright side, I see that it's closing out, or it's closed out, and now you're kind of faced with this question of what do you want to do next, or what's coming next. And you could be kind of focused on what kinds of connections are coming next for you, or maybe you don't know, you're not looking ahead to that, and Spirit's pointing out there are going to be other connections that feel really good. With the Ace of Cups on the bottom of the deck, there's going to be new love, there's going to be new places to put your heart and your energy. Let's take a look at the Three of Cups in the current energy. You could have this feeling of anxiety about the pace at which connections are unfolding, Am I going to meet like-minded people? Am I going to connect with people in a way that feels good? Am I going to have a balance of give and take that feels right for me? Like, when is it all sort of going to click into place? And there could be this sort of desire to know, or to like have some assurance. And Spirit's saying it's going to happen. It's just going to take some time. And that's okay. Like, that's just part of the way that things move. Just because you maybe don't have the connections around you that you want doesn't mean they're never coming. It just means you haven't found them yet. There's something really powerful taking place for you around your healing process and actually healing from everything that you've been through. With the Death card and the Star card coming through, that's this very powerful spiritual energy of you having gone through some type of death process and needing to really heal. And oftentimes people will say, but how do I heal, AJ? Like, what do I actually do to heal? And oftentimes it just means literally giving it time, giving yourself time to feel things, taking care of yourself, taking things kind of slow, really grounding. With the Queen of Pentacles here, that's an energy of like grounding in your environment, in your surroundings, taking the time to rest, maybe pamper yourself, spend time with the people or the animals or the plants or the energies that are immediately around you, maybe spending time in nature, but also just spending time with yourself and really honoring your body, your physical processes, and the parts of yourself that are entirely yours. And so sometimes that could mean like, if you can't sleep at night, like actually just giving yourself the time to sleep in the morning. Or if it would make you feel better to eat a nice meal, to really like take the time to spend maybe an hour cooking yourself a feast that just you eat. You know, like doing the things that you need to do to heal. For many of you, this could be journaling, this could be reading, this could be, I don't know, like doing things that might feel kind of indulgent and really refocusing your energy on healing yourself. It brings me back to that inner wisdom oracle card of, if you have no one else around you, just focus on yourself and just pour that energy into yourself. And there's something here also with the Ace of Swords and then the Death card about consciously stepping into this death process and taking action to really honestly move through that and be really aware that that's going to take time and that's going to take energy. It's not like the things that happened are just going to fade out on their own. Like they might, but it also takes you acknowledging and grieving and healing and all of that, and kind of understanding that that's what this time is meant for. It's meant to help you kind of rebalance. So basically the message is, don't worry about the pace at which things move forward. If you're given a gap of time and it feels like things are taking forever, understand that that time might be a gift from the universe for you to heal and rest and recover. Because with the Seven of Pentacles here in the current energy, there's a lot going on for you. You know, there's a lot that's happened. There's a lot of feelings. You could be very upset about a lot of things that happened. And Spirit's saying to honor that, you know, really soothe the parts of yourself that are upset. You know, validate the parts of yourself that are upset. And be really honest about what happened, what was your role. There was something here that was really, really unhealthy, and it came up in the past and it's coming up now in the future, or now in the present, as you show me you reflecting back on this. It's like you're recognizing something for what it was and saying, holy crap, I think that was actually like really, really toxic. And it's the sort of thing that like when you're in it, you might not even realize, because you're just using all your strength and all your energy to kind of get through it. And for many of us, if these are things that we experience as children, or they're just things that become normal parts of our lives, we might think that these toxic ways are okay or acceptable. And it's only once you kind of get out of it that you realize, oh my God, I don't think that was acceptable at all. You know, I don't think that was normal, or whatever it is. And there's something here about you being really upset, and rightly so, that maybe you were treated a certain way or that you experienced a certain thing that just wasn't right. And there's a lot of pain that kind of lingers there emotionally, mentally, spiritually, possibly even physically. And that's kind of what you're healing as you move out of that space. A lot of times I get people who have some type of health problem, let's say blood clots, and they say, I don't, it just came up out of the blue. And then they start talking about their life and they talk about all of these really painful blockages that they had in their life. And, I kind of will point out, maybe this blood clot is a physical symptom of this hard thing that you went through. And when I say you need to give yourself grace and you need to give yourself healing on an emotional level, it's because our bodies are connected to our emotions and to our spirit. And if you're going through something that's constantly weighing you down, that needs care and attention and love. And so Spirit's showing me with the Ten of Wands at the bottom of the deck that there's something that's been weighing you down for a long time, and you're only just now starting to release it. And I'm actually seeing that as you release it, you feel so light and so relieved, and like you can finally breathe because you're not carrying whatever this unhealthy energy was. And maybe I'm kind of seeing that it wasn't really something you were doing, it was someone else in your life or something else in your life that was causing sort of this toxic tornado. But it takes two to tango, and it was definitely an energy that you were like involved in that was impacting you in some way. And it could be only now that you're out of it that you're starting to reflect on it and be like, wow, I really thought that was what I wanted, or I thought that was okay. And you're only just now realizing how heavy that weight was and how much of your strength it was taking for you to carry this around. Like you thought that this was good, but it was actually really weighing you down. And I just want to say also, I'm not a medical practitioner or a professional, so if you are experiencing some type of physical ailment, please see a medical professional, a doctor, and don't take this as some type of medical advice. Okay, let's keep going. This death card is coming up again in the future. And so again, I'm seeing that even as you start fresh and even as new connections start to come towards you and you start to move towards them, there is something that is sort of coming through here. As you heal, you could experience a bit of a drop in energy in terms of actually like going out and doing things. And it's because you're healing your heart, and you're listening to your heart. And so your pace could slow down in terms of like going out and grabbing life by the horns. And then sort of as you do heal, as you do listen to your heart, I see your energy coming back up and you start to feel a renewed sense of confidence. And I'm really seeing that renewed sense of confidence coming from letting whatever needed to leave your life. It's also, I feel like you're learning lessons from the cycle that closed out, from the toxic things that you experienced in those relationships. They teach you things about engaging with other people and what it looks like to connect with others and all of that. And I actually kind of see you not just learning from these experiences, but eventually sort of wearing them as a badge of pride because it shows that you survived, you persevered, you made it through. And you kind of learn, okay, I'm not going to repeat that cycle, but I know that I can make it through hard things and I know that I can come out the other side. And that's sort of when you finally put down this burden and you accept, yes, I had love for that person, but no amount of love can justify me carrying other people's burdens or carrying something unhealthy. And you start to stand kind of on your own. And in standing on your own, you're really releasing that baggage. You're saying, you're looking out at those people that you loved or that you love, and you're saying, yes, I feel for you and I love you as you go through these hard things, but I can't carry other people's burdens. And there's a lesson here about possibly in the past, you defined love as your ability to carry other people's pain or other people's stuff. And there could have been this feeling of like, yeah, of course I can handle it, like, I got this, I can handle everything, give me your burdens and I'll carry them, and that's love. And there's something here about a new beginning by understanding that you can love someone without taking on all of their pain and all of their burden, and that you can love someone without being self-sacrificing. And that's the death process that you're going through. It's not necessarily even a death process in a specific event or a specific relationship, but a death process in terms of ending the way you define love and allowing your definition of love to transform into something new. So really beautiful here. And I ultimately see you being like, wow, life is great. And it actually opens you up to some really beautiful connections because you come from this place of excitement and joy and lightness that maybe you haven't felt in a long time. So let's get 3 cards of advice for you here, Sagittarius. The Hermit, the Chariot, the 7 of Pentacles. The way forward will unfold the more that you process and accept the way that you feel. Remember when I was saying that you're currently moving through this process of like seeing things new and accepting the way that you feel and really seeing things for what they were? There's something here about understanding different lessons or understanding how these things made you feel. You're going to understand the purpose that this had on your life path, and you're also going to understand what it is to move forward in a way that only you can move forward. There's a lot of healing here and a lot of growth, and as you embark on that healing process, it's kind of like a self-propelled lawnmower or like a self-propelled snowmobile where you're able to just kind of get pulled along in the flow of things because you're accepting what happened and you're moving forward. So that's what I have for you, Sagittarius. Really powerful reading. I hope that this helped. I hope that this resonates, and I'll see you next time.